Good morning, people. It is Wednesday, so it's time for my midweek pickup. I didn't have an actual topic today, but I just wanted to go on and get some encouraging words out there and try and keep people on task and on track to do what they're trying to do and what they need to do. So, what I have to tell you is to stay encouraged. Always be encouraged. Um, Something I get from my church, of course. But at the same time, you have to stay encouraged because you always have to know that your biggest fan is you. So if you're not encouraged, you're not going to get to the plateau that you're trying to reach. And another thing with staying encouraged, you have to always realize that your dream is for you. Nobody else is going to understand your dream like you understand your own dream. So you may get a little frustrated at times or whatever, even when you share things with somebody who may be close to you, like your best friend or maybe even your significant other or whatever. You may get encouraged by the response that you get from them, especially if you're making a very dramatic, life changing decision. But what you have to realize is that you have to stay encouraged because if you let somebody else poke that little hole in you, then it's gonna be like how you used to see the little science experiment where you would fill a balloon up with water and then you poke the little pinhole in and the balloon wouldn't pop, but you still get that small stream of water coming out of the balloon from the pinhole. That's just like what your dream and whatever you're trying to do is like. It's very easy for people to not understand it, for one, because they're not you. And number two, it's very easy for people to maybe not purposely, but poke that little pinhole into your balloon. Now, you might not lose everything all at once, but when you let that discouragement affect you, then slowly but surely you're losing water in the dream that you have, if you can feel the analogy that I'm trying to use here with the balloon. Another thing, look for inspiration in other places. You may know what you want to do. You may feel that, hey, it's time, or it's been time, but then you still have that anchor that's holding you back. A few people that I listen to and have been listening to within the last few months is Steve Harvey, for one. That's a perfect example of somebody who will remind you that you have to take the jump. And I used to say the leap of faith, but when it's something that's big enough to change everything in your era or in your area, excuse me, it's a jump. It's not a leap. So, of course, a leap is good, but jumping is more than a leap. So, when you're trying to do something, you need to jump into it instead of leaping into it. Because Steve Harvey does something every episode of Family Feud, which shocked me when I seen the video, but at the same time, it encouraged me a little bit more to realize what I'm doing. And he does this every episode. And one episode he talked about the jump versus sitting stagnant or sitting at a job that you hate to death. You're not living because you're stuck there and you don't have any way to grow. But if you take that jump, of course, you're going to get cuts and bruises and everything. But you're never going to know what living is unless you take that chance. Another person that I listen to and have been listening to a lot of his interviews is Master P. Now, a lot of people might be like, listening to P? Yes, I'm listening to P because Master P has went through everything that a good businessman should go through, and he knows how to conduct business. Some things may be a little harsh, you may not understand, especially his delivery and the way that he tells you that sometimes you have to cut certain people off in order to grow. But it's very, very in your face, but it's the complete, honest to God truth, because sometimes you have somebody that'll be pulling you down when you could be rising up, and that's something that you need to cut out of your life, period. Eric Thomas is another person that's real good that you can look up and look for encouragement from. And, a lot of people, may not believe in this or do believe in this. Religion is something that everybody's going to have their own opinion. But I listen to my pastor too, Pastor Ralph Douglas West, because with him always saying, be encouraged, it's something that is a constant reminder that, again, you're your biggest fan. You need to stay encouraged. You need to stay uplifted in the Lord so you can get the strength that you need to get to where you need to be. With all that said, I'm going to go on and wrap it up today. Like I said, I didn't have a distinct topic, but, I just want everybody to be encouraged, stay encouraged, and keep pushing forward. Keep mashing the gas. Keep looking towards that light and try and reach and grab that light, because it's your light and you're supposed to have it. Oh, before I go, a lot of things going on in the world. Of course, still a lot of negative things going on. The Oscars is something that has been the same for years to me, from what I remember. I was having a conversation with one of my partners the other day, and I was like, if you look at award shows, maybe every 5 years, it's tailored towards black people or whatever, and then it's not really tailored towards black people. Like when you look back on, I think it was the American Music Awards when Miguel almost drop kicked that girl's head off her shoulders. That whole award show was basically tailored to, black people, African Americans. But the next year, it was not at all. Like completely not, no type of awards, none of that type of stuff. And then the following year, it wasn't like that either. Well, a lot of people are up in uproar about the Oscars, but this is something that's been going on forever, at least since my lifetime. I've seen it, and I've seen who gets nominated, and I've seen who I think should have been nominated, who wasn't nominated. And then I look at the movies that are nominated, that are movies that I may not have never heard of before and have never got the play that most movies get, because it's a bunch of movies that come out that are up for Oscars, and I'm like, man, I never even heard of that movie. I never even knew that movie was out. But you have to eat a piece of reality pie and just know, like, this is something that's not tailored towards us. So why get upset about it? Well, when you're an actor, of course, you can't get upset about it because you're always being overlooked, and it seems like our whole race is being, put under, somebody's shoe or whatever. But this is something that's been going on forever, just like regular racism. They just put makeup on things to try and make it look a little bit prettier. So, with that being said, just know that it's way more important things going on in the world other than the Oscars. So let's not try and get in an uproar so much about little things. Let's keep bringing attention to everybody who's getting away with cold-blooded murder, especially policemen. You kill somebody and you get a paid vacation. That's the real problem. Not about if you're gonna win an award for a movie, you know, but that's the society we live in. That's the world that we live in today. But I just want to put it out there and put it in people's ears that the Oscars is nothing that's important. Not to us, not to everyday people. Of course, it's important to actors and movie stars or whatever. But it's not something that we need to be in an uproar about. If we want to be in an uproar, let's try and make the world a better place so that our kids and our kids' kids can live comfortably and not have to worry about, oh, I'm black, or I'm whatever race, or I'm whatever religion. I got to be careful when I go to this area because they may do something to me. Let's bring attention to that so we can have a better future for our children. Just something to think about. With that being said, you know how I do it every time. Have a good week, everybody. I'll see y'all next week. Put God first, family second. Everything else will follow. And follow your dreams. Stay encouraged. Don't let anybody poke the pinhole into your balloon of life. Keep going. Keep pushing. And if you need that extra push, look up these people. Listen to interviews. Read. Just do something that's going to boost your level of encouragement, that's going to keep you on track. Peace out, people. See you next week.